This is a shot I made in Blender in 2022, and yeah, it doesn't look great. Despite that, this took months to create, so today I want to challenge myself to see if I can remake this shot in 5 hours. Whatever the final result is, even if it's terrible, I have to post it. So dramatic. So, what's so special about this shot? Well, 2 years ago, my brother and I made a short film. It was about 2 tribes fighting each other. One tribe was called Atsu, and the other tribe was called Nuwani. So, we called it Atsu and Nuwani. See what I did there? As you can probably tell, the VFX shots were lacking. We wanted a big opening shot, but we didn't have access to a drone or a big mountain, so I made it in Blender. I wasn't as experienced in Blender at the time, so I ran into a lot of problems. But after months of work, I was finally able to finish it. And that brings us to now, hour 1. First, I blocked out everything. I used proportional editing to play around with how I wanted the mountain and the ground to look. After that, I quickly got started on the trees. One of the problems I ran into on the original shot was the forest. Because there were so many trees, it was slowing down the computer. And because the computer was slow, I had to just render the leaves and I couldn't put anything on the mountain. This time, I used a few techniques I learned to cover everything. I had rendered pictures of trees a while ago, so I grabbed those and used a particle system to spread them over the ground. At the end of hour 1, I had this. I feel like this is a great start, but something just wasn't working. Starting hour 2, I played around with tree colors and then turned the scene into night. That's kinda better, but it's still not right. After thinking about it, I think it's the trees. You see, since they're just pictures, they don't interact with the environment the same way as a full model might. Well, sorry computer, I'll be using a full tree model. I found this wonderful model by Toby Nobi on BlenderKit and swapped the tree pictures with the model. That's better. For the next hour, I started to adjust and tweak the size, density, and rotations of the trees. Next, I added some stars and played around with some mist. At this point, I was about 2.5 hours in, and everything was going really smoothly. And then I realized that the 5 hours includes rendering the final video. That raised the stakes a lot, because rendering is notorious for taking a long time. I need to finish this quick so I can start rendering ASAP. So, I got to work adjusting the trees. Again, for the next hour. Now, I've been taking breaks this whole time. This isn't something I'm doing in one go. So, when I went to open the project after a break, the project wouldn't open. I kinda started to freak out. I tried a few different ways of opening the Blender file, but it would not open. This was not good. At this point, I would have to start over from scratch with only 2 hours left. But then I remembered that Blender sometimes autosaves projects. So when I went and checked, praise the Lord, there was an autosave that I was able to open and it finally worked. I played around with having some rocks come out of the mountain, but I wasn't happy with how it was turning out and I need to finish up quick. So I scrapped that and moved on to the text. I used the same font and material that I used last time, but the text was looking too clean. What I mean by that was the short film takes place on an island, so I wanted the logo to look very old and like it was a rock formation or something. After getting it to where I liked it, I need to get started on rendering. With only a little over an hour of time left, it's gonna take a little over an hour to render. When I calculated it, it was gonna take too long. So I changed the settings, and with the cost of noise, I was able to cut down render time. I really hope this finishes soon enough. It finished rendering. That leaves me with 6 minutes left. I hopped into DaVinci Resolve and put the final color grades on, and it was done. After 4 hours of designing, an hour of rendering, and 185,000 trees, here is the final result. Thank you so much for watching. I had a lot of fun with this challenge, so please let me know how you liked or didn't like it in the comments below. God bless.